Hey, how's it going? I would like you to please look at my signs. Okay, now I can fix this angle. Oops, do not pop out of there. Hey, how's it going? So, yesterday was election results day here in America, in the United States, and well, one thing that I did was in my last video from yesterday, I read something that I had posted on Facebook where basically I was saying that, like, maybe one way for us to be better, not just here in the United States, but in the world, because we're all having eruptions of fascism. And so I was just saying that our approach to dealing with our problems maybe it's been the same thing for millions of years, and it's been solve the problem with violence and anger, and then it's built a climate of fear where you're in fear. Not everyone is this way, but a lot of people apparently like to be afraid all the time and feel like everyone's out to get them, and that they got to grab everything they can before somebody else can get it, and be resentful of people. This makes no sense to me, but be resentful, and I'm using resentful just as a nicer way of saying the actual vitriol and hatred and just stuff that we allow each other to summon up in each other, that upon examination, if they bother to do it, just isn't true. And it's a weird thing because we're doing it to each other, but it's been programmed into us. Like, we have been conditioned to do this. We have been groomed to do this because it serves the leaders of our countries for us to be in disarray with each other. Some countries, not all countries, subject their citizens to this, but it's part of the capitalism vibe, I think. Or vibe, that's not the right word. Capitalism is more like capillary veins. They're just deeply embedded in the system of currency exchange and trade, and difficult to disengage from, but not all of it. You don't have to go cold turkey. Like, incrementally things can be changed, and that's how things happen anyway. But I was saying, like, maybe if we're tired of feeling that way, like fearful and angry and resentful, it's a lot. To feel that way all the time, like, it's like extra extension cords plugged all over you into that, and it's draining is what I'm saying. It's draining, I think, but I'm also not doing that, so that's them and that's me, and that's fine. Not everybody is on the same page, and that is why my suggestion is, rather than go through these elections where everything is suspect and unclear, and always somebody is unhappy. Like right now, basically half the country is like ecstatic and the other half is like not that. Anywhere like, sadly, which is not a great vibration to be in. It's kind of low. I don't want to say despondent, but I know people are just so upset and just are like, what happened? And I said, well, you know, in election you have a 50-50 chance, you win or you lose. And as far as the fear thing is concerned, when you leave your house or at any time, like I was gonna say, when you open up your eyes, you could roll over in bed and somehow end up choking and dying. It's just like, it's there. It's a possibility no matter what. And so I don't know, for me, also because I believe in reincarnation like hardcore, it's like, okay, those are the stakes. Sometimes you win and stay alive. Is that winning? Yes, it is. I'm kidding. Or you don't win and you exit, you know. And I also believe that it's not quite the crapshoot that seems like, because that kind of takes me back to the reincarnation thing, and I talk about it often. But the birth plan, the life blueprint, where you arrange everything. Some things are flexible, some things are not, but you basically plan out everything with everyone you're going to encounter the whole time before you even start. And then before you start, primarily, we are born not remembering any of that. So part of the journey is getting back to that place where you remember that, and then along the way you remember, thank you, you remember like the good parts of us, you know, like you want to go back to it. But sometimes you come in and the plan is to go as far away from that as possible. And I don't know, if you don't share that state of mind, it can be upsetting when that leader, that particular thought leader wins, you know. So I pulled these cards yesterday, and oh, sorry, getting ahead of myself. So I was like, okay, so rather than voting, and maybe to kind of simmer down all of the stuff that comes along with it, or like the aftermath, not everybody, but there are a lot of people online doing blame chat, and then there's people talking about blame chat, and who didn't vote, and who did this, and who did that, and you know, the progressives are at fault, and the Cheneys are at fault. The Cheney thing cracks me up. Like, I was so surprised at how mad people got that Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney were like, we're gonna like not give our vote to the Republicans and we're gonna give it to the Democrats. And for some reason people took that as, they're just, now we're Republicans, we're gonna be Cheney Republicans now, everything is ruined. It's like, stuff we want to get done doesn't get done that fast. What are you talking about? And by the way, my feeling about it was, they're not giving their vote to the Republicans. We're getting those 2 votes. And whoever is like, well, if they're going to nut up and do it, then so am I. And I don't think the Cheneys think that they're going to get in there and, like, usurp whoever gets elected. I mean, that's fear. Like, fear, like, clouds your mind. Like, you can't think good. So anyway, but the whole time, oh my god, and it's like almost, it like never stops now, the campaigning, but almost the whole time it's just been a volley of insults and finger pointing back and forth. And in the meantime, there's all of the voters going, man, again with this crap. Like, even if it wasn't again with the Trump, it would have been again with Democrats, where they say a lot of stuff and then there's so much infighting, nothing ends up getting done. And also, the blaming and finger pointing don't end there. Like, we only hear about it when it gets particularly brisk, I guess. But I imagine it happens all the time because the Democrats don't get a whole lot done. Like, that's kind of their deal. I know I'm tired of that, and I have not seen anything come from the other direction that really appealed to me. So, did I even get to what I started out to say here? I had reactions to the post about what I was saying, what I've been saying right now. And I was surprised because a couple of them, a few of them were like, well, they did the thing that I was saying. Maybe we should like find a different way and not, like solve problems with violence and aggression, and got all mad and were like, oh yeah, you're like, not directly even to me though. They didn't like actually comment on the post itself. They, on their own sites, answered, and it was like so pointed and nasty. One of them, like, there was like cursing involved. It was like, oh my God, why don't you just shoot me too? I blocked them. But I don't, like, that may seem like, why? Doesn't that go against what you're saying? Like, well, I didn't actually say inclusive and everybody and blah, 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 woke, whatever, but yeah, inclusive is what I suggested was a consensus rather than voting. Because that way, everyone gets a little bit of what they want, but they have to understand that they don't get all of what they want, kind of like the way it is now, but a more involved experience than just like casting your vote. And then, yes, it takes longer, but truly, that means that all of the wrinkles can get ironed out and people are not like at the polling place with a machete because they don't want you to vote the way you want to vote. That's like, I don't know. Is that still working? Does that sound like that system is still working? Or get punched like you're an old lady, for God's sake, and some kid, oh my God. Grooming, we have so many problems with it, and yet it occurs in so many places where it seemingly is okay. Anyway, so I pulled some cards yesterday, and I didn't end up, I don't know what I was doing, something else, but I pulled a couple from the Sacred Soul Messages, and the first one I got was this here compass card. And I'm going to tell you what my impression was immediately. It was find your way, which obviously that's what you do with a compass. And so let me read it. Let yourself be drawn by the pull of what you truly love. See, we can allow that for each other by way of consensus. The rest of it reads, divine purpose, mission in life, being guided. Divine purpose goes back to what I was saying about the life blueprint and the why you're here and the forgetting and the remembering. Like, along the way you are remembering your divine purpose, which is, well, I mean, I'm gonna say what Christ said, which was be love. I don't recall that message being quite so clearly stated in the rest of the book, but it's a good message, I think. And when you are not the other way, in the anger, fear, resentment column, and you are being loved, you're not so concerned with I love them butts kind of situations. And that is hard. I keep saying, like, that's what I said, in fact, in that first post, was that we keep going at our problems and ending up with wars and, you know, culture wars and all the other things that are just kind of unpleasant. And there's people on one end of it constantly running around, you know, looking over their shoulder and being uncomfortable and fearful. And you got kids that don't understand things, and it's just like, it creates a very uncomfortable feeling climate. And then you got the other side where they're causing it, and they're like, we all got guns, and, you know, boy, people are getting shot and slapped and socked and assaulted and everything. Like, just like, there are no boundaries anymore to, like, I'm just gonna do this. And it's like, yeah, but you know, when you say I'm gonna do this, it doesn't sound like you're considering the person that is getting this, or what's gonna happen after those things happen to everybody involved. And it's like, none of it really good, except for you had the experience, and that's one of the divine purposes we're here for, that helps us come back to being the love essence energy, that when we, like, you know, let down all of the firewalls, that's what we are, you know. I mean, I guess some of us are physically not capable of that because of their mental and physical makeup, but the vast majority of us are, like, hiding behind some kind of defense or fear. And what's back there? Like, what are you protecting and so afraid of getting hurt? It's your soft, tender love, nougat filling, cream filling in the middle. And we can't even talk about it. It's like, we're too manly for that. And then the men, oh my, the men, they got the biggest hiding behinds. Don't even really know what's going on back there because they're hiding so good. Except all of the hiding, and crossed with the being a manness, in some cases just comes out like really, like, and angry, mad, looking for something to fight. And why? Because they gotta keep something hidden behind the firewall. So I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's not funny when you're in the middle of it, but in varying other colors and degrees, it happens to all of us, regardless of gender. We'll find our way. It's time to hand somebody a compass or give some directions if asked. Don't you know, don't force stuff on people. That's kind of like voting. You don't get to have enough say. You just get, like, black and white squares and ovals you gotta fill in boxes, and it's like, obviously we need more. We all need more, and we need to find our way to getting that for each other, because we are here with each other. Like, okay, I didn't want Trump to win, but I'm not going anywhere. I didn't disappear off to some place where there's flowers and rainbows and unicorns and no Trumps. No, have to be here and live with it. So does everybody else that's not just here in the States, but the world. And so it doesn't have to be that large a scale of a thing. But we are kind of stuck with each other. But that's a perception. That is what we're here for, to help each other find our way back to our divine purpose. And so the other card I pulled was this here card, that is the bridge card. And it says, love is the bridge between you and everything. Also the firewalls between you and everything. But a bridge can go, you know, bridges can be very creative in getting over impasses. So love is the bridge between you and everything. Connection, helping each other find our way. Oneness, helping each other find our way. Finding your way forward, helping each other find our way. Isn't it interesting that those happen to be sort of, they look white and maybe red or orange, but also kind of, you can see the red and blue. That contrast. Contrast. Is it the Princess of Contrast? A contrast? What? And so I pulled 304 cards also from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. Or no, sorry. What am I talking about? This is the why am I blanking out? It's right in front of me. Light Seers deck. I was gonna say Life Seers, and I knew that wasn't quite right. And the first card I pulled was the 10 of Pentacles. And as you can see, it seems to represent like a bunch of good stuff in life. And it's also the card that, oh my gosh, I finally get to talk about this. So this is the last one of the cards in this deck that I found that looked like some famous person. And it's been not just actors, but definitely people that I've seen on a screen. So Harrison Ford, right? And I saw this one right away, but I wasn't quite getting it. And it's like the woman that used to play Tim Turner, Taylor's wife, Tim Turner. Fairly Odd Parents. Tim, Tool Time. The comedy with the grunting comedian, Tim something. Now I'm just blanking out on all names. But I think her name I don't think she's dead, so I think her name is Patricia Richardson. And I don't know that she's ever had this hairstyle, but that's who I feel like that looks like. So I've been waiting a long time to talk about that because I haven't been using these cards as much. But also, they represent a kind of success that there is a worldwide consensus about, like the family, the stuff, the land, the party, the grandkids. Like, you've made it. Look at the kids dancing in the background. It's a joyful scene with the bright sunlight and the tree of life. Oh my God, how did I never see this? The tree, the Kabbalah tree of life right there. Oh, what's the name of it? Kabaroth? I think Kabaroth. Anyway, so that basically represents all of like the hero's story and the life that you go through, like birth and death, like every part of life that you are gonna make your way through, finding your way, going through all of the experiences, and then, you know, you get to the end of the rainbow, basically, and pot of gold, jackpot, there you are. So, it's right there. It's right there in front of us. We can have it if we can just stop fighting about everything and being all mad all the time. So, 3 of Wands, next card. I almost feel like this is the person, like, Johnny, don't be a hero. Like the girl at home waiting for her soldier, warrior boyfriend to come back, and she's just still passing life like it's normal, like surfing every day, which, I mean, if you could find a way to be able to spend your day surfing instead of going to work, that's a pretty good life. Or if surfing is your job, that's an excellent life. But in this one, this person, I feel like, is waiting for somebody to come back and rejoin that life with her. And I don't know why I went, well, I guess I do know why I went with the soldier metaphor. It's kind of the tone here. But you know, if we could come to a better consensus, God, like in almost every way of life, things could probably be a lot better. But I mean, the Israel-Gaza situation is particularly entrenched, where like no one wants to. Well, it's beyond the point of negotiation, but no one wanted to give, you know, and I'm sorry, but I got to take the Palestinian side. They now, like, forget 15,000 years ago or whatever, today, they've just been beaten down and beaten down and beaten down, and it is so difficult to see it done by who's doing it. It's like they forgot what happened. What was it, only 60, 80 years ago? With the Holocaust and the Nazis. It's like, how are you doing this to people? You don't recognize this from your own history when it happened to your people? And they had to, like, have it create in Israel, I guess? I don't get it. But not everyone is ready to get on board. And some people are in your news feed on Facebook, and some people are out in the world dealing with it while we're like surfing surfing online or at the beach, holding the torch, keeping the home fires lit, because eventually that stuff is gonna end, you know. And could not go the way you'd prefer, you know, like you could not get your preferred outcome. But there's no reason to lose hope. And also, in the case of the soldier perhaps not coming home, still not lose hope, because reincarnation, you know, you have other lives. Like, remember, if you're a fan of the Matrix theory, this is not, I'm not going to sing songs, but this is not real life. This isn't real life. This is fantasy in a way. You know, like, all of the things you ever dreamed of wanting to do, where in your true form, you know, that you are when you are not here, you wouldn't dream of doing any of these things. I don't even know if people are equipped anymore to, when they're not in a place like Total Recall World. here on this here planet, to be clear. So the next card is Seven of Pentacles. Now, everybody's very upset about the loss in the election, but like I said about that post that I made where the person was so upset, I made another post. Oh, I should probably read it, huh? Maybe I'll do that. But in it, I said that I actually blocked the person that, like I said, they didn't contact me directly, but in what they posted, there was cursing, and it was like, that sends a certain message if you choose to use those words, because you don't have to. You do have a lot of options. And I went ahead and blocked them because they did that, you know, in response, because I didn't come at them like that. So I don't know why they felt like I deserved to have them come at me that way. In fact, I suggested not doing that. So it was kind of like, really? That was the response? Like, I'm going to double down on that shit. So it may seem like, oh my God, well, you just like discarded that person, but not at all. blocks can be unblocked, for one thing, and for another, I feel like if they responded that strongly, they read it. So, seeds planted. And that's what I said. I'm not going to read another thing today, but I did write another thing because I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then, like, what I was just talking about, the responses. And so, because really what I expected was no responses at all. And I've got plenty of that. But, you know, I often find out later that more people than I realized actually, like, looked at it. But, you know, anyway, so the election, the candidacies, I should say, certain seeds were planted. Certain seeds germinated and grew, and that's what we got with the results, I think. Because I kind of have, okay, because we did not have enough time for the whole, like, we didn't get the whole growing season, so our harvest is not going to come. But the Harris campaign, I'm not saying it was perfect and I like everything about it. Honestly, it was not Trump, and that was like the number one main thing about it. But it did turn out to have like the ability to make us optimistic, and she really, I mean, whatever else, did not respond to him in kind. You know, like, she let him carry all of that fear column, anger and insults and apocalyptic fantasy stuff. She let him do all of that, you know. So I don't know, points. Like, I really appreciated that. I was looking forward to a less contentious presidency, because even Biden's was filled with, you know, people on the left constantly pissing and moaning. So, God, are we ever happy? No. That's maybe because everybody is not getting what they need from these things, and consensus will allow us that. So, the seeds for optimism and better outcomes and potentials for everybody is still there. It's ahead of us. I feel heartened by the message that Cryon gave, which was that they'll be so busy battling each other that they won't be able to do much of the damage that they would do. And so I feel pretty good about that. And also, I did see a couple of things online, like people talking about the resistance starting and the resistance, and like, okay, whatever, you're back in that mindset of fighting this, when if you want to be asymmetrical, don't don't engage, do something else. And I you know, I know it's crazy to think like, what, they're doing this to us, we got to do something back. You will be. You just won't be doing it the way that you're used to doing it, or the way that they're used to doing it. Like, it might completely discombobulate them to just come out roaring, guns a-blazing, and find there ain't nobody there to be shooting at. What a concept. So, speaking of actors on these cards, hi, Rob Delaney. Believe his latest thing right now that is probably not the latest thing anymore, but Deadpool. And so, might seem kind of scary. This is the death card, and it doesn't have it on here the way it is on the Rider-Waite style deck, with the two people sort of chained to blocks of concrete, or chained to the devil, or either one, like, is, I think, supposed to mean that you got your attention focused on the wrong kind of stuff, like addiction, or, you know, reveling in the land of hate and anger, and like, oh, I just want more. And but see, the thing with that is, it ends up like involving other people that are not wanting to be part of that, and sometimes it doesn't, the result is not great for that person. And So the in that situation, and this is, I don't know that I could do it, but I feel like this is the best way. Like when you're faced with that and it's just like the outcome is not great for you, just slot in the scenario yourself, because I'm sure you can think of one where you have no choice, and it's obviously it's obvious that you are being induced to exit eternally. Again, the reincarnation. So I say drop that fear and like have some damn fun with your life, and it's inevitable anyway. Like it's coming. So live it up, because you don't really know when. However, not everyone is taking that course. They are gonna persist to resist, I guess. And I don't know that that's helpful. I think maybe we should rethink that parry to the other stuff coming this way, the guns a-blazing people. But the inside the cowl there is the sun. Looks like it's sun rising over a forest where your seeds have germinated, grown, and okay, so it takes a while for trees to become trees. We got a lot of minds to I don't know if I necessarily want to say change them, because you can't change other people's minds, but you can certainly plant seeds, and maybe over time they'll start to reconsider or reassess certain decisions and actions. And there is nothing wrong with finding your way to your divine purpose, to being love again, and being love to each other. Like we would really probably like it, if we just get out of this addiction to the fear column. Okay. Excuse me. Dang, I washed my hair and I put conditioner on it, so now I got this little bob situation. It's always exciting. Oh wow, follicle focus. I haven't done one in a while. You better look at them pretty quick, because the follicles are falling out. Okay. Thank you and good night.